Yo, what is going on, YouTube? This is D-Man Gaming here today, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but I have Scarlet. So, basically, this is just my first thoughts on the game after playing a few hours, give or take. I haven't played a whole heck of a ton yet. I'm obviously planning on playing a lot of it. But I want Gamefreak to know, and I want to be honest here, that Gamefreak really needs to understand that, yes, I'm having fun, by the way. I am having fun with the game. I'm not a hater. I love Pokemon. But Gamefreak needs to understand our honest opinions on certain things when it comes to this franchise. And there's a lot of bugs. And the games are really messy. And there's a lot of frame drops. And I really think that Gamefreak as a whole really needs to understand from the fans that we will wait to play these games. You don't have to drop them in November like every single year. You don't have to do that, because that's basically what they're doing. Aside from Arceus, which dropped in January, which is kind of a weird time frame, but at least Arceus didn't have the bugs that Scarlet and Violet have. Now, Scarlet and Violet, they are fun games I'm enjoying so far. They are completely open world. It's a new concept for Pokemon. But again, and people compare this to Breath of the Wild all the time. And that's a completely different company through Nintendo. And I just want to be clear here that Game Freak, they really need to change their schedule. They should not have a specific date for a Pokemon game, because they should be able to be allowed to delay their games so we get a better product out of that. And I'm not saying these games aren't great. From what my understanding so far is, I'm having fun with it. And the fun is the aspect that does matter to me, but I also think that us as Pokemon fans do need to be critical towards Nintendo and towards Game Freak as well, because they need to understand that us as Pokemon fans do need to criticize them for the problems and issues that are at hand here with their games. Now, here's the thing, right? Pokemon Legends Arceus came out back in January. It wasn't really buggy. It just had graphic issues, that's okay. You know, at least the game didn't have lots of bugs or glitches and issues. Scarlet and Violet, from my understanding, has a lot of bugs and glitchiness to them. Now, again, I have only played a few hours so far, so there's not a lot of judgment from me yet. I'm enjoying it so far, but I see in the distance constantly stuff running at 5 frames a second from people to Pokemon running at 5 frames. I wish they would have fixed that, but it seems kind of worse than Arceus in a way when it comes to the frames and issues that Arceus had as well.
I want to go home. I don't know why it's funny. Wait. Oh, I see why he wants to go home. Because he is stuck in the void. Oh, never mind! He went home! Oh, rest in peace, buddy!
So, I don't know how many people are going to watch this video, but for me, it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to talk about Scarlet and Violet a little bit, because there is some criticism that is deserved to Game Freak. Now, I am enjoying the games, as I said. They are fun games, but Game Freak needs to understand that they need to sometimes delay Pokemon for us as fans to get a better product. But, again, Game Freak does not want to do that, because they know they're going to sell 50 million copies anyways of Pokemon. And that's what really sucks here, because the thing is Pokemon as a whole has really been kind of going down when it comes to how great the product is that we're getting, because I feel like Sword and Shield were okay. Let's Go was the first introduction to Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch, and I thought that was perfectly well done. They did exactly what they were out to do, and the graphics were fine with that art style. But Sword and Shield, look, I enjoyed it. I loved it. You can play the DLC, 100% the Pokédex, all of that. I didn't have too many issues with that. I liked that it had a wild area thing. I thought that was a neat new concept. Graphically, you know, it had a little issues in the wild area, but I mean, overall, it was okay. But then, Diamond and Pearl remakes, right? So, a lot of people had issues with those, and I thought I would absolutely love them. I even got the double pack, and I never buy the double pack because Gen 4 is my favorite. But the thing is there was nothing new at all. It was just a copy-paste remake. Like, it wasn't like the Gen 3 remakes, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which brought in completely new, some new legendaries, and it brought in like the new flying system with Latios or Latias, one of them, or both, I don't know. It's been forever since I played those games. And there was a lot of new aspects they brought in for the Gen 3 remakes, but the Gen 4 remakes were just a complete remake, and they're from top to bottom, and there was nothing really new aspects there, and that was pretty disappointing. But then Arceus brought in a brand new system when it came to mechanics, where we were going in the future of Pokemon, and it was great. Its graphics were kind of bad, but it at least brought in a lot of new interesting concept ideas for Pokemon, and it brought in new fans and people who were not fans of Pokemon for years. They really enjoyed Legends Arceus. I've talked to multiple people or watched people on YouTube say that they absolutely loved Arceus as their like reintroduction to Pokemon after so many years, and it had a lot of cool concepts. And the newest concept with Scarlet and Violet, I would say, is the open world aspect, because now it's fully open world, and I think that's amazing. That's great, but the problem is they made it fully open world, but they didn't take enough time with the games the way that something like Breath of the Wild does. For instance, that game was delayed multiple times, but Game Freak is not delaying. So, and as of right now, there has not been any patches after the day one patch, so I don't know how many updates Scarlet and Violet are going to get. They're going to fix some of these issues, such as the frames and things. I really don't know. But one thing I can say is, if you're a big Pokemon fan, you're probably already playing this and enjoying it, as am I. But I think we need to be criticizing Game Freak as a whole sometimes. We can't just accept them the way they are constantly. I also heard these games are easier than Sword and Shield even, and that means Pokemon just keeps getting easier and easier. Aside from Arceus, however, Arceus, I also give them credit because the post-game was pretty difficult. I give them some credit there. But again, Arceus was probably the best Pokemon game in a long time. But I think they need to be better. I think Game Freak, again, this is only my first thoughts. I haven't played the game that long. I want to know your guys' thoughts, who have played way more than me, who know way more about Scarlet and Violet so far, or any of the issues you've had, different things. I want to know. I want to know your thoughts on Scarlet and Violet as a whole, and how much you've played, what issues you've ran into, different things. I don't think the issues are like, you know, they're not game breaking, right? Really, not really game breaking, to my knowledge at least. But I still think that Game Freak needs to be aware that the Pokemon's been around for 26 years. They need to be aware that the Pokemon fans are going to criticize your game at this point, especially when the majority of big Pokemon fans are in their 20s and 30s these days, because Pokemon's been around for so long, and we've all been around with this journey for so many years. But Pokemon's for everyone, from small kids up to their 30s, 40s even. But I wanted to make this video just because I really wanted to give you guys my first thoughts. So far, I'm really enjoying some of the new concepts, such as picking up items as you're walking, without your character having to bend down to grab items and stuff that are out in the wild and stuff. I love that. It makes it so much easier. But I do wish that you could throw Pokeballs to catch Pokemon like you could in Arceus. I'm disappointed that you can't do that, but I knew that before the game came out, unfortunately. Which is actually good that I knew that. A couple other things I would like to say is I really enjoy riding the Legendary around the open world and stuff. Very cool. I like that you get it early in the game. I think it's a neat concept, what they did there. And the fully open world thing is very cool. What else do I have to say? Not a lot. The tutorial, you know, usually typically takes a minute, a good hour or two or whatever to get through the whole tutorial. But I love the fact that you can go to any gym that you want, wherever you want on the map, and any of that stuff. You can do it in any order, and I think that's fantastic. And I hope moving forward with Pokemon they continue to do this. But I think after this, they're probably going to remake Gen 5, which that's fine as long as they don't do it the way they did the Gen 4 remix. Please, Gamefreak, do not do it the way you did the Gen 4 remix. Do it the way you did Gen 3 remakes and just make it so awesome. Either that or they're going to do another Let's Go for Gen 2, which I don't think they're going to do that. I feel like we're going to get Gen 5 remakes next, which hopefully that's not next November, but who knows. And then when they do a 10th generation eventually, if or when they do, I hope they take way more time with it. I really do. Because all I can say is they needed more time for Gen 9. I haven't played it that much. I could be completely wrong, but I've watched videos and seen things on the bugs and glitches and things, and I think they should have delayed it another 6 months to polish it. Polishing a game is important for your fan base. To polish a game and make it just much better, like better without having to deal with glitches and bugs and graphic issues. Like I seen someone was taking a selfie of their character and then their character was all of a sudden up in the air. Like what? How does that happen? I don't know. Anyways, guys, these are just my first thoughts on Scarlet and Violet. Again, the only issues that I have had are frame issues with characters far in the distance. Graphics obviously aren't that good. We all know that. But nothing too game breaking. I just wanted to make this quick thoughts video on Scarlet and Violet. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on Scarlet and Violet. Let me know if you ran into any issues. Let me know what you think they could do better and things. And I just want to know your guys' thoughts. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and checking it out. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Later.